is there anything off the top of your head that you would be interested in asking me
Um,
before
trying to
I just
relate it back
bef-
to what I do. Okay, yeah, I do.
okay, cool. Go shoot. I'm
All
ready.
right. If you were on trial for a crime, what would it be?
I could s- ooh, I could see myself if someone did something to my daughter or my girlfriend,
Mm,
it'd be tough. It'd be tough to be a man of God and not want to harm somebody else. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Especially my daughter.
Mhm.
You were speaking on the podcast to abuse and stuff like that, and there's I feel like in a lot of families there's stories of abuse. Like this is not and man, everything I do is to make sure my daughter doesn't get abused by some adult,
Mm-hmm.
any adult,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And like that scares me so much, her being so little. I feel so grateful that she's old enough to talk now,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't wait until she's old enough to like be aware to like really be able to communicate so I know she's like safe and if something happens, maybe she'd come to me. Because right
Mm-hmm.
now I don't know what she would do because she doesn't know what to do, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
well, that's something that I worked with my daughter on, like as soon, probably at 1.5. I started teaching her, like, this is your body. If you say no, that means no, and like the correct terms for everything. So now she knows, like, if something happens, that I mean, she talks a lot for three, but
so my girlfriend was very adamant about the same things, right? And
Mhm.
I didn't grow up that way. We
Right.
grew up using slang words and blah blah. But yeah, I
Hmm.
understand the importance of what we're doing, so like I'm on board, right? And and I don't know if this was part of the agenda, but it was also like, like we would shut the door, not lock it, and she'd just bust in,
Hmm.
and be like, this was she was younger, and be like, well, what's that, Daddy? And I'd be like, that's my penis, whatever, blah blah.
Hmm.
So there's this one day where she like the bathroom is right around from the kitchen and my girlfriend was cooking. And she comes in and she's like, "What's that, Dad?" And then we'd done this 100 times before. She's like, "What's that, Daddy?" I'm like, "That's my penis." And then she like physically touched my testicles. And she goes, "What's that?" I go, "Those are my nuts." Like that. And then when I walked out of the bathroom, my girlfriend she goes, "Hey, I thought we were gonna use the right terms." And I was like, she touched my testicles. She touched them. I mean, I'm not a science project. I thought it was just open communication. I didn't know we were gonna get into this. You know what I
I
mean?
panicked.
Yeah. Because also, like for me as a male,
Yeah.
hmm, I don't know if I don't know if I'll ever have a level of comfort of being nude in front of my daughter. If it was my
Right.
son, I don't think it'd be a problem. And that could be
Hmm.
whatever it is, but like it doesn't feel appropriate to me. And
Hmm.
so, and especially again, talking to about abuse and
Right.
those things that happen, like I don't want my girlfriend, I don't want anybody in my life to ever think that would be something that I would be engaged in because
Right.
like that's not me, you know what I mean? And I
Hmm.
don't want my daughter to feel that way either. I
Right.
don't want her to ever feel in a way that she feels like that I'm being inappropriate with that. I would be devastated. That would be
Yeah.
it would rip my heart out, you know what I mean?
Mhm. And
And
it's scary 'cause
then
that's the world we live in now.
yeah, and that is what's so crazy is that
Mhm.
there's people out there like that.
Yeah.
That have no awareness around that, don't care. And like back in the I guess I'm sure it still happens, but like there'd be these big hippie cumons of community people, and they'd all run around nude and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And I'm sure I want to believe that there probably was bad things, but I want to believe that it was mostly safe and good that all those people had the respect for all those people inside of that.
Yeah.
Like I get being comfortable in that space, but I don't live there. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not where I'm living.
Right.
So um, you know, uh, I could see myself like getting in trouble for something just like really stupid. Like you remember how Morgan Wallen threw that chair off the top of a
Yeah.
roof? 100% that could be me. 100% that could be me. This was a long time ago, but I went to a wedding. Um, I went to a friend's wedding, and I got so this is so embarrassing. I got so drunk that I accidentally hit his mom with a chair.
Oh God.
So, I mean, 100%, 100%. That could be me. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
All right, what else you got for me?
Hmm. If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
So glad you asked. Um, so originally my podcast was called A Moderately Good Podcast. That was what it was called, right? And so everything is about moderation. And it's all still about moderation, how you take care of yourself. It's just not called A Moderately Good Podcast, right? It's called Just Be Scottie G. Anyways, so the book I wanted to write was going to be called Moderately Good Rules for Life,
Okay.
right? And I can you want me to tell you the chapters real quick? I got the chapters in my phone.
Yes.
Hang on a second. Hopefully it won't take me too long. This is so I don't know if I've even told anybody this. This is exclusive.
Yes.
Rule number one, don't do heroin. Okay?
Yep.
So why shouldn't you do heroin? Well, you shouldn't do heroin because it's just like, having sex. That one time can change your life, literally change the whole trajectory of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So decisions like doing heroin and having sex, doing drugs in general, need to be need to be drinking, needs to be taken very seriously,
Yeah.
right? Um, number two, go the speed limit. All right. So why should you go the speed limit? It's just a rule that's not worth breaking. It's not worth getting in trouble for. Like when you think about all the things you could get, you asked me, like, what would you go to jail for? Would you be, like, all the things I could get in trouble for, speeding is something that's under my control that I don't have to get in trouble for, right?
That's
And
true.
there's a lot of things like that in our life. There's a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
like that like you just, being on time, not showing up to court with green hair in your pajamas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just basic rules that make your life so much easier. All right. Rule number three, or yeah, I guess it's rule. Try anything twice.
Oh, my boyfriend has that same rule.
Oh man. So, let me tell you
Except
something.
heroin.
Well, yeah, don't try. Well, I mean, I guess you could try it. No, don't try it. You shouldn't try heroin at all. So you're not going to try it twice. And in your case, like you shouldn't subscribe to the rule of marrying him again. You shouldn't try
Oh
that
God.
twice, right?
Yeah,
No.
no.
Okay. So, but the idea is that anytime you do something, if you've never done it
Mm-hmm.
before, the experience could be poor. Dating, anything. You can't base everything off the first experience. You have to base it on at least another try.
Yep.
You know what I mean? All right. This one was my girlfriend actually came up with this rule.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite ones. It's rule number four. You could be and the and the idea of the rule is when we get in these stupid arguments and silly like all the stuff that we argue about or everything else we do, right? And we're always looking for time to have sex and be intimate with our partner, right? Where we can never find it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we spend all this time fighting. We did less time fighting and more time fucking, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like just like I always think about that when we get in an argument, like I roll that through my mind. Not that we're gonna have sex, but that
Right.
like, is this worth it? Is there
Yeah.
something more valuable I could be doing with my time, like giving my girlfriend a hug and saying I'm sorry or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is, right?
Yeah, I
All
like
right.
that one.
Thank you. See, I knew I could sell you on it. Are you okay, hang on. All right. Words matter, but they don't, but they should.
Okay.
Meaning that whatever someone says to you, it's just words. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they could say you're the biggest loser ever. They're just words, okay? But when you do say things to people, a lot of people do live on those words.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for you to be responsible with the things that you say to other people and try to keep that in mind when you're saying things to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Definitely.
All right, cool. All right. Number 6. I don't know how many rules there are, by the way. I just keep writing numbers. I don't know where I'm going to end it. Um,
Oh,
number 6, embrace painful things,
yeah.
right? There's a saying that goes, to live is to, wait, uh, to live is to suffer, and living is finding meaning in the suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find things like divorce and the painful things that you go through, and you try to find strength and understanding inside those things, they can actually be things that make you better and stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Number 7. It's called faux free,
Okay.
right? Did you have to do any kind of like internship to be a lawyer? Do lawyers have to do internships
Um,
or
it's not
understudying?
required, but I did one,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you get paid, or did you do it for faux free?
I've done one that was paid and one that was free.
The point is that whenever you're learning and try to do something and try to start something, you got to be willing to work for faux free. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Give your time to learn and understand. You can't skip that process, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's a process of everything. You know what I mean? Like becoming a parent is faux free. You working faux free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the most important job ever,
Yeah.
right? And so it's important to work for faux free. Okay, but man, I haven't looked through these in a while. Like you kind of okay, and I don't know if I even explained this very well. Okay, number 8, drink, but don't be a drunk,
Okay.
right? Meaning that do whatever you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but be responsible for your own shit. Nobody's responsible for you being a drunk,
Yep.
right? I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Um, I don't know why I wrote this one down. Number 9. There are no rules in a fight, meaning that, what someone tells you you should do during a fight, you're not fighting fair, especially when someone's telling you you're not fighting fair. One, you should be trying to avoid a fight at all costs. But two, you know, you should come to that fight trying to be the best person you could be, with the best, trying to get the best ending we could get.
Mm-hmm.
And some people like to fight unfair by telling you are fighting unfair,
Right.
right? Some people call that
Mm-hmm.
gaslighting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, point being is that, like, how you show up as a person and how you even show up to a fight depends on how that goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if someone's not fighting fair, you either have to not fight fair or remove yourself, right? Like you have to make the decisions that are best for you. That's probably what I'm trying to say. I haven't
Yeah.
I haven't worked through that one, but thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Oh, I mean, oh, okay. Number 10. There might only be 10. I might cut some of these out.
Okay.
Don't be late to surprise parties.
Okay.
Okay? It is a universal understanding that you should not be late to a surprise party, right? I feel like that's pretty universal, right?
Yeah.
And that is universal respect.
Mm-hmm.
Just for everyone on the planet. You can't unless you've never heard of a surprise party before, and even if you know the word surprise and
Right.
party, you can probably guess what it is. I think the thought is you should be there early.
Yeah.
So don't be late for a surprise party. Okay, I'm gonna end with this one because because the last one I don't know what I was writing. Anyways, I didn't plan on doing this. This is great, by the way. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank
Um,
you.
this last one I'm gonna read is you never know, right? And that's something that we say to my daughter a lot. and that's something that she says to us a lot now,
Yeah.
right? When we talk about what could happen,
Mm-hmm.
she always goes, "You never know." And like she'll say, "Am I going to make a friend of the park today?" I was like, "You never know." You know what I mean? And I'll always leave the possibility open. And I
Right.
think a lot of times as people, especially as adults and especially as life starts drowning us,
Mm-hmm.
we start predicting what's going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? My life's going to shit and it's just going to keep going to shit and it's never going to stop going to shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. You don't want to go through all those what ifs because you never know.
That's right. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, thank you so much, Brooke. So that okay, now so the real thing is,
Yeah.
would you buy my book?
Absolutely.
Would you help me find a publisher? That's probably the real
Yeah.
problem I need is a publisher for this thing.
Yeah. I'll review it and edit it, and I would
Oh,
100%.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Man, hey, and I got you recorded saying that, so
Yeah. I know.
awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you so much for sitting and
Yes.
chat with
Thank
me. I
you.
appreciate it, Brooke.
Yeah. We will talk soon.
All
Start
right.
writing.
Yeah, I will. Thank you so much.